First of all, I'd like to thank the Academy for... Oh, sorry, wrong speech. Welcome everyone to the announcement of the shortlist for the 2014 Ned Kelly Awards. It's the 19th Ned Kelly Awards. My name is Andrew Nettie. I'm on the Committee of Management of the Australian Crime Writers Association. That is the organisational dynamo behind the Ned Kelly Awards. Today we're going to announce the shortlist for 4 categories: Best Crime, Best First Crime, Best True Crime, and the Sandra Harvey Short Story Award. Now we'll get onto that in a minute, the shortlist in a minute. A few thank yous first. First of all, thank you to all of you for coming. Thanks to the Bendigo Writers Festival, in particular Director Rosemary Sorensen for hosting us, the shortlist. I think it's the second time that we've had the shortlist up here in this beautiful space. Thank you very much. I want to thank the judges. Huge amount of work involved. Also want to really thank 2 people who are here today, Karen Chisholm and Fiona Hardy. Please stand up, who really just do an enormous amount of work this year in terms of getting the awards sorted and making it all look easy. Couple of other acknowledgements. Crime writers in the room. Angela Savage in the room. In the house. Angela Savage is in the house. Gary Disher. Yes. And Michael Robotham. Anyone else?
Yes. Andrew Nettie.
Thank you. Myself, Andrew Nettie. Yes, thank you. All right, look, before we get onto the shortlist, as I said, I might just introduce Michael just to give a bit of a talk about the Australian Crime Writers Association and the Ned Kellys. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for coming. I should actually note that Brian Stoddard. Brian is also in the crime writer, the Madras Miasma, which and that's only just come out. Brilliant. He's in the audience as well. Thank you so much for coming along. The Australian Crime Writers Association, we're a national organisation. This is actually the 19th year of the awards. It actually makes it one of the longest running awards in Australia. You know, it's longer than most of the Premier's awards that we have. Next year's going to be very special when we go our 20th anniversary. We crime writers are an odd bunch. To begin with, we kill people for a living. Shane Maloney reckons that he's killed about 17 people, but he can't be completely sure without digging up the bodies. I reckon I've killed about 28. So I kill more often than Shane does, but Shane is notoriously lazy. He's quite reluctant to stick the knife in at the best of times. Gary Disher, 14 crime novels. Any idea of how many people you've killed? Thousands. Angela Savage?
I'm trying to count them up. I reckon about 12.
12 people?
In 3 books, that's not bad.
That's not bad. That's not a bad effort there. Some of the people who die are innocent victims, obviously, in crime fiction, and some of them deserve what they get. I've only ever killed 1 child, and I wish that I hadn't. I made a mistake once killing a dog, and I still get the hate mail. I had friends who rang me to say that they'd brought their dog inside and slept with their dog for 3 days. They were so traumatised after reading this one particular passage in Bleed for Me. People often imagine that crime writers be quite good with getting away with murder. I know in my case it's not true. I can't even steal a kiss. And to quote Woody Allen, if I stole second base, I'd feel guilty and go back. But we are quite a bloodthirsty lot, but it's quite interesting, so are people in general. I love quoting this. There are a couple of American psychologists, Koenig and Buss, their names were, who did a survey. And they surveyed and they discovered that 70 to 90% of men and between 50 to 80% of women admitted to having at least one homicidal thought or fantasy in the preceding year. So, I mean, there's no point in denying the fact, all of us, whether it be when we're cut off in traffic or something happens where we think, I could kill that bastard. We all, it's all there. We all at times want to push the mother-in-law under the bus, but we crime writers do it. And you just get to read about it. And so I really love the fact that we bought this. We actually did the shortlist last year at the Byron Bay Writers Festival, and this year we've come. I love the fact that the Australian Crime Writers Association is trying to come to as many areas as possible. And I love the fact we're in Bendigo, because this is a town, or a city I should say, that truly does embrace its criminal past. I mean the jail is just there. I mean, it's in the centre. Most people put their prisons on the edge of town. It's in the centre. And I love to see the fact that you're turning it into a major sort of cinema and entertainment complex. I did a little research on Bendigo. Bendigo jail. It's had a very colourful past. The last man hanged in Australia, Ronald Ryan, spent time in Bendigo jail. Mark Chopper-Reid rested his head in cell 23, and he broke heads in cell 11, 12, 14 and 28. And in 1987, John Dixon Jenkins, a self-styled nuclear warrior, took 9 people hostage and barricaded himself in the learning centre of the prison. And it was Victoria's longest ever siege until Jack Shaw came along. Well, the Victorians will get that. And it's funny, I also decided to do a bit of research into local crime, and I discovered that on July the 24th in Bendigo, a man robbed a pizza shop. And on July the 29th in Bendigo, a teenager stole donuts from the Bendigo food outlet and was ordered to do 120 hours unpaid community service. And on July the 30th, an L-plate driver drove without a designated driver because he wanted to buy soft drink. So that's the extent of crime in the past week in Bendigo. I'm sure you've had worse stuff happen, but people tend to get very hungry and thirsty here. Tonight we're announcing the shortlists for this year's Ned Kelly Awards. These, as I said, are Australia's longest running and most prestigious awards for crime. The writing list of past winners does read like a who's who of Australian crime fiction. Peter Temple has won this, Gary Disher has won this, Kerry Greenwood, Gabrielle Lord, Peter Corris. I mean, these are some of the most established and most famous crime writers this country has ever produced. As with Andrew, I want to thank Karen Chisholm and Fiona Hardy for all the work they've done. The entire committee, Andrew and the entire committee of the awards. This takes a lot of work to get to pull together. There are a lot of entries into these awards, and this year we've started accepting ebook entries as well, which has meant an even greater number. And we do have some wonderful judges that have come on board, such as Graham Turnbull, the crime reviewer for The Australian, is one of our judges. We do get the best we can find when it comes to judging the awards. Once Andrew comes back and announces the shortlist, they'll be put up on, you'll see a rolling banner, they'll be put up on the screen here. I can tell you now, these are all brilliant books, so I urge you, because the actual awards themselves will be given out at the Brisbane Writers' Festival on September the 6th. These are strong lists, these are brilliant books, so please buy them, borrow them, try not to steal them, but try to read them, because we do have some incredibly good crime writers, and I think one of the things, if I could change anything, being the chair of the Australian Crime Writers Association, I want to get over this fixation we often have with reading American crime writers or British crime writers, and people not having the courage to say, I'm going to pick up an Australian crime writer, and I know when you do, you'll discover that what we're writing is a match, if not better, than anything anywhere in the world. So thank you very much for coming, and I'll welcome Andrew back to read the shortlist. And then, please enjoy the open bar and sandwiches. I don't know how long that money will last, so drink up.
Okay, well, why don't we just go for Best First Crime. And the shortlist, 2014 Nick Kelly Award, Best First Crime, Peter Cotton for Dead Cat Bounce, Candice Fox for Hades, Alex Hammond for Blood Witness, and Ellie Marnie for Every Breath. Okay. I think we'll leave the best crime until last, I think. Best true crime. Okay, the nominees are Paul Dale for Disgraced, John Kidman and Denise Hoffman for Forever 9, Eleanor Learmonth and Jenny Tapakoff, No Mercy, Colin McLean, JFK, The Smoking Gun, Duncan McNabb, outlaw bikers in Australia, and John Safran, murder in Mississippi. So a big round of applause. Okay, the Sandra Harvey Short Story Award. And the shortlist is Louise Bassett, Housewarming; Darcy Lee Tyndall, The Scars of Noir; Roger Vickery, Voices of SO122; and Emma Biscuit, who has been nominated twice for Splinter and Web Design. And the Best Crime. And the nominees are Gary Disher for Bitterwash Road, Catherine Fox for Fatal Impact, Adrian McKenty, In the Morning I'll Be Gone, P.M. Newton, Beams Falling, Stephen Orr, One Boy Missing, and Angela Savage for The Dying Beach. So, please give a big round of applause for all of them. And as Michael said, please, the open bar is open. We're not sure how much longer the tab is going to last, so enjoy yourselves at our expense and have a lovely evening. Thank you very much.